I'm Dan Augusto from Gearwire.com, and we're going to talk a little more about proper cable care. And this will cover not only just the wrapping, it will also cover a different type of wrapping, but also the unwrapping that goes into the different methods of cable wrapping. So this cable is wrapped in the method shown in the first video, where you just roll it up, just going with the natural turns of the cable, and you don't change it up at all. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to show you, actually there's a proper way to unwrap this type of cable. The reason I do this type of wrapping and unwrapping is because it's a little gentler to the cable. You're not going to be stressing the internal soldering points and things like that. So here I have my mic. I'm going to plug it in and begin unwrapping. Now as I unwrap, I just stay conscious of which way the cable wants to turn, and I will turn my whatever I have in my hand to go with that. And little turns aren't a huge deal. You don't have to deal with every single loop. It just helps. So see, I have a nicely unrolled cable, and that's what you want to see. Not too many turns, and it'll roll straight out. So, and that definitely is a great way to keep the life of your cable going and not create any extra resistances within the cable. So before I attempt to roll up the cable again, I'm going to unplug the mic again, and we're assuming that the other end is already unplugged from whatever you're plugging it into. Okay, let's go over this second way of wrapping cable, and a lot of people will use this who work in stage or live sound applications, just because it leaves the time when you're actually setting up. It makes it a little easier. You can toss the cable while it's wrapped across the stage, but I feel that it stresses the soldering points a little more. So when I'm in a studio situation, I will use the first method. When I'm in a live situation, I'll tend to use this method. So basically, I just want to, get all the kinks out that I can by sort of shaking the cable out. Okay, so this method starts the same way. I have the male end of the cable with 3 prongs, stretch out about 2 feet, 2 or 3 feet, and as I come in, I'm going to turn the cable away from me and create a loop like that. Now, for the second loop, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to give the cable a little more slack and turn it towards me, and then create a loop like that, grab it with my left hand. And I may have to just shake those out a little bit, keep on doing that. Then the next loop, that's going to be just like the first, and then once again I'll show you the second loop. Roll it towards you, bring the hands together, and you'll see the loop form, grab the loop. And as you get better, you'll get faster and faster at it. This takes a little more time in the when you're breaking down, rolling up your cables, but here's the plus side to this. Now I'm ready to plug back into my microphone cable, and my cable is wrapped using the second technique, which is actually known as the over-under technique. So I plug it in, and I can just walk it right out. Let the cable drop. Don't have to do any turning, and if I needed to, I could throw the coil across the stage, and it'll be relatively loop-free. So that's the second way to do it, and I'm just going to repeat it just for educational purposes. So once again, I'll unplug the microphone because we want both ends to be loose while we're rolling. And one more time, this is the second method. Start with the male end towards you, a loop away from you. You turn your right hand away from you, or your left hand if you're left-handed, and then towards you until you create the loop, and then grab that loop. Once again, the first loop and the second loop. Sometimes when you're doing the second loop, you will feel the cable sort of strain underneath your fingers, and that's really why I use the first method in a studio setting, just because I like to baby my cables. And a second loop. and a first loop. And I believe that'll do it. Maybe one more small one. All right. And I like to use cable wraps, of course, these Velcro strips. So those are the two ways of wrapping cables. If you want to see the first one, check out cable wrap video 1. And that's, in general, the way I would wrap a cable inside of a studio. It's a little more gentler on the cable. This is the second method. You'll use it in live applications, sometimes in a studio session when you know you're going to be in a rush in your next session, and you usually are. So thanks for checking these videos out.